Hey, check it. Put the place up.
Hello and welcome to the Bear Down Breakdown here on Sports Tree Ltd. Folks, I'm Connor Roundtree and we're going to start off this episode with our news and notes from around the NFL. And our headline has to be Sarah Thomas. Now, who is Sarah Thomas? Sarah Thomas is going to be the first ever woman to officiate a Super Bowl. The NFL announced that this week, and that is absolutely huge. But before we can get to the Super Bowl, we have to play the conference championships. And here on the Bear Down Breakdown, we're going to give you our 3 keys to each one of those matchups happening this Sunday. And the first one up is the Green Bay Packers hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 3:05 Eastern Times. And our 3 keys to this one, well, the Buccaneers defense. In week 6, the Buccaneers actually defeated the Packers because of their defense. They were able to get after Aaron Rodgers. Like most quarterbacks they played this season, the Buccaneers had the second most QB hits in the NFL. And in that game, it got to Rodgers. He threw 2 interceptions, the only time he's done that all season. He threw just 5 interceptions to 48 touchdowns on this campaign, in which I think he will win the MVP. But back to this matchup between the Buccaneers and the Packers. Against the blitz, Aaron Rodgers was just 3 for 12 that game and threw the 2 interceptions, as we said. Since that game, the Packers have clearly been able to regroup their O-line, and Aaron Rodgers against the blitz from that game to this point in the season has thrown for 15 touchdowns to just 1 interception, and last week he shredded one of the best defenses in all of football, being the Los Angeles Rams. Look for Aaron Rodgers to go off this week, and I just don't see how Tampa Bay will be able to contain him as long as he's playing with this level of confidence. While I do respect Tom Brady and what he's been able to do in Tampa Bay, I have to give the quarterback edge to Aaron Rodgers in this amazing season that he's been able to put together. But another thing to look out for is the battle of the running backs. The Packers this season, they gave up 4.5 yards per carry, and last week they gave up 5 yards per carry to Cam Akers. That's not going to be enough against Leonard Fournette, who had over 100 yards from scrimmage last week. So because of that, I like this game to be a shootout. I like Tom Brady to be effective. I like Aaron Rodgers to be extra effective, especially against the blitz, as we said. And I like this to be a high-scoring game. So make sure you take the over and then take the Green Bay Packers. Much like the NFC title game, the AFC Championship is a rematch of Week 6. It's the Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. But there is a huge question mark surrounding this game, and that is Patrick Mahomes. Will he be able to go? The reason why this is so important is because Buffalo's defense is not the same defense that they played in Week 6. Buffalo's D made a statement last week, allowing just 190 passing yards and forcing an interception, and they also held Lamar Jackson to just 34 rushing yards. Baltimore was averaging over 30 points per game in the previous 5 games heading into that matchup, and the Bills held them to just 3 points. That is absolutely huge. The Bills defense was able to record 4 sacks on Lamar Jackson last week while holding Baltimore's offense that was averaging over 30 points per game in their previous 5 matchups to just 3 points. That is why it is so important to know who is starting at quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Will it be a Rusty Henney who threw a pick against the Browns last week, or will it be Patrick Mahomes, the reigning MVP, who averaged over 316 yards per game? But while there are a ton of questions surrounding the Kansas City passing game, there are very few surrounding Buffalo's. Josh Allen has been electric, and Stephon Diggs has been a difference maker. Obviously, he led the NFL in receiving yards and receptions this season, and he's made the receivers around him better. And that's the matchup to watch. Kansas City, outside of Tyrann Mathieu, is extremely thin at the defensive back position, and the Bills, as we said, they have depth both at the wide receiver position, and Buffalo presents a couple tight ends that are red zone threats. Well, I'm going to take the under in this one. I'm also going to have to take the Buffalo Bills, no matter what quarterback is under center for the Kansas City Chiefs. The facts are the Bills defense, they were able to make adjustments last week and shut down the #1 rushing offense in the NFL and hold Lamar Jackson to just 34 rush yards. On top of that, their pass defense has been pretty solid, and without Patrick Mahomes being 100%, I like them to eat Henney alive. And then on the other side of the football, Josh Allen, he's been lights out. He's got a lot of targets against a very thin defensive backcourt, so let's go with the Bills in this one. As per our MKF play of the day, well, there's no football going on tonight. There is definitely action going on the ice in the NHL. We're going to take a couple goalies to combine for 61 saves to double our money in the Super Saver. And our first goaltender that we're going to have to select is Carey Price. Carey Price, in his last outing, stopped 34 of 35 shots against a high-octane Oilers offense. So he's obviously playing some good hockey right now, and he's taking on a lightning-quick Vancouver team that likes to throw the puck at the net. And our second pick is Frederik Andersen. He's coming off his best performance performance this season, stopping 27 out of 28 shots against Winnipeg, and he is taking on that very high-octane Oilers offense that we had previously mentioned. So make sure you take those two goalies to combine for 61 saves. For our trivia question for this week's show, this is just something I wanted to share with you because this is awesome. Tom Brady and Drew Brees embracing each other after last week's game, and this is just so cool. Tom Brady throwing up a ball to Drew Brees' son before he walks off to go take on the Packers in the final, and Brees stays with his family. These two guys are the 1-2 in passing touchdowns in NFL history. So here's our trivia question for the Bear Down Breakdown this week. How many regular season touchdown passes have Tom Brady and Drew Brees combined for? Before we wrap up this episode of Bear Down Breakdown, we have to walk through our Sports Tree NFL Bracket Challenge and let you know who's leading. We have a couple people with perfect brackets so far, being Grady Sass, Darcia Roundtree, Sam Ashton, Matthew Neuratlis, and Nick Whitelaw. Log on to Sports Tree now, check your bracket, and see how many points you have, and get ready for this weekend, because there's another 4 points available this week. And remember, the winner walks away with $500, courtesy of us here at Sports Tree Ltd. Thank you so much for joining this week's episode of the Bear Down Breakdown. As always, I'm your man, Connor Roundtree. Remember to hit it hard.
Hey, check it. Put the place up.